This slide of the pituitary gland. As I said in the lecture, there's two embryonic origins to pituitary gland. As I said, there is area that develop from the roof of the gut. We call it the ethnohypophysis, whereas the another area that appears or downgrowth of the nervous system, we call it neurohypophysis. As I said in the lecture again, that the area of the ethnohypophysis consists of three parts. This area called the pars distalis. The area that found at this area here, the pars intermediate, whereas the area that found at this area here, we call it the pars temporalis. As I said in the lecture, this area here, ethnohypophysis, responsible for production of the most of the hormones, whereas the area of the neurohypophysis responsible only for storage. They don't have any hormone that produce at this area. This is only a storage area. Mostly the hormones will be produced in the area of the hypothalamus, then transfer for the storage inside these cells. Here we all pars distalis, pars intermediate, pars temporalis, whereas the area here we have the neurohypophysis or the pars nervosa. As I said in the lecture, the old nomenclature of this area, that anterior lobe or posterior lobe, this is a wrong statement. They not used anymore. We need to use the ethnohypophysis and neurohypophysis. As I said, this part, the pars distalis and the pars intermediate and the pars temporalis, all of them come from the same origin, and not all of them found in the interior of this gland. And this area here comes from the another origin, which is the downgrowth of the nervous system. If we increase the magnification, we can see that there is two types of cells. We have the cells that taking the red stain, whereas the other cells take more bluish stain or less red stain. These cells are called the acidophil cells, where the other cells is called the basophils. For example, the acidophils responsible for production of the somatotropes, which is the growth hormone. The cells called somatotrophs responsible for production of the growth hormone. And we have other cells, mammotropes, which are responsible for production of the prolactin. The other cells here, some of them responsible for production of the ACTH, which control the function of the adrenal cortex. We have the follicular stimulating hormone, LH luteinizing hormone, which control the function of the ovary and the testes. And we have the thyrotrope, which is responsible for production of the thyroid stimulating hormone. All of these cells, again, they have the same appearance, the cord and sinuses, and all of them found in the pars distalis. If we come at this area here, these cells here, which is the part of pars intermediate, responsible for producing the melanocyte stimulating hormone. The other cells that we have here is the pars nervosa or the neurohypophysis. Most of these cells are glial cells, and mostly they are astrocyte, but we don't call them astrocyte. Instead, we call them the pituitary cells. Okay, as I said, mostly glial cells, and these cells responsible for only storage. They don't produce any hormone of their own.